The NFL is a league of leaps and falls. How much better can players get from year to year, and how much are guys going to fall off? Every offseason, there's usually a few teams that are candidates to make a big jump from the last year, or that could completely fall off from the last year. The Atlanta Falcons have had some disappointing seasons dating back to the last few years of even Matt Ryan's final seasons with the team. But after moving on from head coach Arthur Smith and hiring Raheem Morris, who was the defense coordinator with the Rams last year, and the defensive coordinator for Atlanta back in 2020, they are looking to establish a brand new culture in the building, and I think they have the right guy to do that. And I think they also have a lot of the right pieces in place in terms of what's on the football field to make them a pretty dangerous team this fall. So with all that being said, let's take a look at the 2024 Atlanta Falcons. First and foremost, when I look at the 2024 Atlanta Falcons, the first thing that sticks out to me is their quarterback situation, quite obviously. And I don't think it could be overstated, understated, whatever way you're supposed to say that. The addition of Kirk Cousins, that is going to be such a huge pickup for this team, and just having competent quarterback play in general. And you think about the New York Jets and Aaron Rodgers and just really what that did for the team. And of course, he only played in 4 snaps last year, which of course sucks for them. But think about what that did for just the team in general, and going from maybe not a bottom feeder, but a middling team to a legit, what people think to be a championship contender. Think about C.J. Stroud in Houston. Good quarterback play, young pieces around him, good pieces around him, elevates that team to a new level. Even Jared Goff in Detroit, just having competent quarterback play. Again, a team that has a lot of great pieces, not so different from Atlanta though. A lot of great pieces around. Competent quarterback play is what elevates these teams to the championship level. And I think Detroit is a really good maybe comparison for this Atlanta Falcons team. You might even say that Atlanta has some better younger pieces. I know that Detroit just signed Amon-Ra St. Brown to a big deal. Of course, that's great. But Drake London, I mean, we'll get into it. We'll get into the pieces. But the addition of a quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons is going to be such a huge piece. And I really don't think that can be, that's going to be a huge piece. That's going to be maybe the biggest piece of their season. It's definitely going to be the biggest piece of their season. Having Kirk Cousins, it's just the idea of Kirk Cousins can stay healthy. Coming off that Achilles, you need him healthy for 17 games. I know they drafted Penix. We'll talk about him a little bit later as well. But Kirk Cousins he's going to be the driving force of this team, and he is going to be what decides whether this team is a legit Super Bowl contender to come out of the NFC or another 9-8 season. You already heard me talk about some of these pieces that are already on this Atlanta Falcons team, and let's start with Drake London. We mentioned Drake. Let's start there. Obviously, having a big body, 6'5" type of receiver for Kirk Cousins to be able to throw the ball to is going to be huge, literally and figuratively on the field. Drake London, really great piece. Really looking to take that step. Didn't just make a video. Maybe in the last month and a half, we only have a few videos on the channel. I called Drake London a breakout star for this 24 season, and a lot of that was because of Kirk Cousins, but a lot of that is because of Drake London's talents as well. Go to Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts has the chance to be one of the best tight ends in the league, if not the best tight end in the league, with Travis Kelce aging and things like that, Kittle aging. Of course, the production hasn't been there for Pitts, but look at the guy's talent. You see it you saw it at Florida, you see it here. The guy has just an uber amount of talent. He has as much talent as anyone could ever want. Just needs to put it together, and really doesn't even need to put it together. I don't think as much as about him, as much about what the team around him is doing. Arthur Smith last year, and then just the quarterback situation last year, to just finally having a competent offense. And that's going to be kind of the theme. You keep hearing me go back to saying a competent offense. That's going to be the whole theme of this Atlanta Falcons team. Just be competent, just be normal, and you can have a really nice season. Kyle Pitts, Bijan Robinson, great running back. We're going to talk about maybe some of the decisions of the roster construction. Yeah, Bijan, one of the most explosive backs in the league, if not the most explosive back. There's obviously a couple guys up there that can, tie for that sort of handle there. But Bijan, absolutely great player. They add Darnell Mooney, a great tertiary piece, a great third, fourth, fifth option, maybe even on the team. That's fantastic for this offense. Think about Drake London, Kyle Pitts, Bijan Robinson, and then Darnell Mooney, maybe Tyler Algier. I mean, that's a very nice group of weapons. I don't know how else to put that right there. Very nice. Of course, on defense, you still have Jesse Bates, A.J. Terrell, both very elite players. And the defense was pretty good last year. I mean, not in terms of, like, if you look at their EPA and, just success rate and stuff like that, they were fine last year. But bringing in Raheem Morris, elevating that side of the ball even more, letting the offense cook, I mean, that could really be. I mean, it's all there for them. Like I said, the pieces they're there. It's all on the table for them here. And I already talked a little bit about Raheem Morris earlier in the video, but I want to have a whole section on him here, just a whole little piece on him. I think Raheem Morris was a great hire, maybe the best hire of any of the teams. I really, really like. He was already there in Atlanta. He spent, I think, 4 or 5 years there. He was a passing game coordinator, assistant head coach, eventually being the defensive coordinator in 2020, I do believe. And of course, a great run with the Rams there. So I really, 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 really like. I can't even say how much I really like the Raheem Morris hire. I think that's fantastic. And then you kind of go and you pair him with Michael Penix, a young quarterback. I know everybody wants to find the next McVay, the next offensive guru. And you do think about all these offensive guys, and that's all great. We want to score points. We want to score 30 points a game. That's kind of the idea of every team in the NFL, it seems like right now. But it is shifting a little bit. The NFL, even the last few years, the league has shifted. We're going to hear about 2 high safeties all the time. These defenses are putting offenses in more of a box. They're doing a much better job. And Raheem Morris is absolutely one of those guys that has done that for the Rams in their Super Bowl run, all that stuff. And I really like the hire. I really like the combination of having a young quarterback and a defensive head coach. I think that is an underused team building way, a way to build a team, really. And the argument against this, of course, is you really want your young quarterback to learn and grow with an offensive mind, but this doesn't stop you from hiring a good offensive coordinator and letting the quarterback work with learning from a quarterback coaches and things like that. It doesn't always have to just come from the offense coordinator. And of course, Raheem Morris is going to be able to teach and guide Michael Penix as well. I mean, it's not just going to be an offensive-defensive thing. I think just having a calming voice in the room for Michael Penix will be a great thing, and I think Morris is that. And of course, Kirk Cousins as well. I'm not sure how receptive Kirk will be to necessarily taking Michael under his wing and being like, "Hey, Penix, look, Michael, this is how we're going to do it. This is how we're going to, this is how we're going to learn. This is how we're going to run game days. This is how we're going to run practices." I don't know how receptive Kirk will be to, teaching Penix all of those things, but he's going to be in the room with him every day. They're going to be in the same room, right? Their lockers are going to be close to each other. Penix will pick it up, and he will be able to have success hopefully in the future because of that. Overall, I just really like the combination of having a young quarterback with a defensive-minded head coach. I just think that's an underutilized, I guess, team-building aspect in the NFL. This Falcons team has a chance to have an absolutely fantastic 2024 season. Of course, nothing in the NFL is guaranteed, and Atlanta has done some weird stuff with the Penix pick and drafting Bijan Robinson as high as they did a couple of years ago. But overall, I understand the plan for Penix in a vacuum. Have your young quarterback sit behind an established guy and learn for a couple of years, and then hopefully he can take over whenever that time comes. I mentioned picking Bijan Robinson 8th overall, which is pretty high to select a devalued position in running back, but Robinson is an awesome talent, and regardless of his draft position, he's still going to be another weapon on this offense, and we already covered all the weapons that they have. So we will see how the 24 season goes for Atlanta, but I think they are going to be a serious contender to come out of the NFC. Thanks for watching.